these little ones. Naming is really difficult in today's day and age because every grandmother has bought her kid a domain name. So naming is not easy. Mammoth it's a big, strong beast. It's huge, and Hadoop is all about being able to take and incorporate really big data. So you can take big data sets and file systems that can incorporate petabytes of data. So it fit in that sense, in the big and strong sense. I also liked it because it was short. I like short names. And with the DB part, which is the database, technically it's not a database, but we're actually trying to, I would say, supplant the database in our sort of space in business analytics. So we're actually trying to replace the role the database has traditionally taken with our solution. So it kind of goes. So it's sort of a big, strong database area thing.
So we probably took an independent approach of what we were supposed to develop. And probably the focus was on customers who were used to Excel and other query tools that they are used to. And we kind of put ourselves into their shoes and took their perspective, what they expect from a product like MammothDB or like a database. It's mostly our background in analytics and the problems we have experience with, and our customers looking for solutions like this. That was our guiding point.
We're not trying to compete with Oracle Exadata and Teradata and IBM on features. We're trying to do a few things really well.
We don't want to create a feature after feature that's not used. And in fact, it's quite the opposite. We want to build a simple yet effective and powerful service.
Hey, you know what? Let's argue over the core features and make sure we hit those, get customer feedback, incorporate that for the next sprint or the next version, and approach the market that way. One thing we're doing is we're offering free versions of any sort of offering we have, meaning as a cloud-based or on-premises. So basically we're saying, hey, listen, try it with no risk, really, or very low risk. I mean, certainly it takes people's time to install, configure, or to test it online. But we're basically saying it's a very low-risk way for us to prove our claims. We're also, and along with that, we're not requiring any non-disclosure agreements or complicated contracts or anything else like that. Our information is completely transparent. All of our values on the website, our pricing, everything like that. So one way is to say, okay, try it. I write a lot. For example, I'm writing a manifesto, but I understand people don't read much on the internet. I mean, mostly we just look at a few paragraphs or something, and that's it. So it's difficult to communicate through in text unless somebody's really interested into it. It's going to spend the time, which is a very small percent. One of the ways I'm doing it is by comparisons. So what I just put up yesterday on the website was the pricing of our competitors, which I think is kind of ballsy. And I clearly have, and it was by an independent third party that did the pricing. So I've got the pricing for Teradata, for Oracle Exadata, and for IBM. And then I put our pricing of a similar amount of configuration of systems, nodes. And it's a really stark visual contrast. I made it as an image that you can look at, and it's our system, 225,000, their comparable system, 6 million. We hire like-minded people. So we hire people that are already sort of passionate or interesting or care about the values we care about. And that's important because if you're trying to take somebody who's like diametrically opposed to your beliefs and your value systems and all that stuff, you're not going to change people. So you can't make them believe in your beliefs. So the first is hiring people that are kind of like you, like similar to friends or something like that you would look for in a friend. I don't know how to catch fire with our beliefs. The other one maybe is because we really believe in it and we have a lot of energy and enthusiasm about it. I think it's very genuine, and those around us feel the genuineness of, or the passion or the excitement that we have, and that's kind of contagious. Things can be like positively or negatively contagious. So I think it's similar with the birth or creation of a product or company, where if you really believe it, you're excited, and you think you're going to change the world, or at least you're a little part of the world, I guess that genuineness or that shines through. Tribes have been the way that humans have formed their social interactions and bonds for the majority of our evolution and our history as a group, as humanity. As far back as almost 4 million years ago, first footsteps in Laetoli. And it's something I think we've forgotten the importance of. As companies grow and as social networks grow, we might think that it's great to have 2,000 friends on Facebook, but I would say those connections are actually quite weak, and those bonds are actually quite lonely. And despite the fact that we might have so many friends on Facebook or a 3,000 person company, in the end we're actually lonelier because of the size rather than feeling more connected. So yeah, tribe is very important to me because it means A, small, it means B, strong social connections, and C, strong cultural value systems that are shared. So yeah, it's a big thing.
It's just what makes it special is that I'm part of this team, and I'm every day I'm learning new things about it.
Freedom. I don't understand why it's been displaced ever in the workplace when we value it so much personally.
We're actually not free to do whatever we want. We're just free to work the way we want, achieve more, and without being oppressed.
Trust. So trust implicitly. Why hire somebody if you're not going to trust them? So that means no audit, things like that, and no control systems over these people. Transparency. I'm really big into transparency. I think secrets basically create silos and power distance, artificial power distance and silos. Like, oh, I know something you don't know, haha, whatever. It's annoying, especially in this day and age of being able to go on the internet and find things so easily. Transparency is key. We expect that in our personal lives. We should expect that at work. So freedom, trust, transparency. I'm really big into play, which means having fun at work. This is a big lie that business is not personal. Business is intimately personal, so we should enjoy it. Another one of my values is is basically talking straight. So when we talk, it's direct, it's to the point, and it's about bullshit. I think that politics and oblique speak is antithetical to innovation and basically just creates more barriers. I got sort of a work hard, play hard value as well. I mean, I already mentioned play, but at the same time, we have a lot of then personal responsibility. I think we've absconded personal responsibility too much, as well as social responsibility. So I think everybody has the personal responsibility to work really hard and sort of also play really hard.
I can't help thinking that I'm coming to work and I should do some time doing my job, and when I need the rest, I have the freedom to do whatever I can or whatever I want.
And sort of also play really hard. And lastly, I'm really into people sharing their own stories at work. I think the older we get, the more important it is for us to have a story outside of ourselves that we want to share our ideas or our hobbies or our goals with, and we want to share those with other people. I think it's really lame to have to wait until you retire to do something you like. It's very dualistic. Like, suffer now, do what you really like when you're 60. So if you can actually integrate your story, the things that you like within your work, whether it's whatever, dancing, and we can have dancing lessons here, or if it's just me, I like talking about business ideas, so I like talking about it here. Whatever that is, I think it's cool if you can incorporate that somehow. One more value that I've got, which I neglected to say, is to question everything. I think it's really important to say, hey, is this belief system or this way of doing things inherited, and I'm just doing it because it's always been this way, or is it appropriate and cool and right for my situation, my environment, my product, my way of working, my team, whatever. And I think it's not something where you just question once. If you actually question 3 times and you dig down into it, it's like, if you just say, why is the sky blue? And someone says, because it's blue. Well, that's not very cool, but why is it blue and not red? And then you've got to say, hey, it's because light refracts all the other colors except for blue. And then you got to say, well, why does it refract the other colors except for blue? And as you dig deeper, you really get understanding. And then you get to understand if this is something that's right. And if you don't question the way of doing business or the way of working or the best practice of benchmarking or whatever it is, you don't really bust out of old, crystallized, or slower, inertial ways of thinking and come up with new ideas and say, hey, actually, that's a stupid way of doing something because I couldn't have good answers to the questions. I should do something different. So I like and I encourage everybody to have a very curious and questioning perspective. It's something we do as kids. It's drilled out of us in school and in work, and we've forgotten how to do it, which is, I think, against innovation. We're just stuck into our reality tunnel of this is the way you do it.